What's up guys, my name is FilmCore. I'm the one that made all of these videos, and today we're doing something a little bit differently. I'm going to be going through every single Godzilla design, giving you my own personal thoughts and opinions on them, and then ranking them from best to worst. So let's kick things off with Godzilla 1954. Alright guys, so off the bat, the 54 suit, I think it's a good suit, okay? I think it's a good design. It got a lot of things right, just right out of the gate. It's a giant irradiated T-Rex with spikes on his back because it makes him look cooler. It does. However, with that said, I personally never really liked the whole T-Rex angle. If you're already asking me to suspend my disbelief when it comes to there being like a giant irradiated monster, now you're also asking me to believe that there were giant theropods roaming around somewhere near Japan in the 1940s. That whole angle is never really like explained or explored throughout the entire series. So to me, just kind of like the idea behind the design was always a little bit funky, as well as like the actual suit wasn't built that well. They were using very primitive techniques. The suit weighed upwards of like 200 pounds to where the main actor, Haru Nakajima, just kept like passing out between takes. He would lose like half of his body weight of water every single day because it was so hot under the suit. So it wasn't very well built or made, but also, you know, it was less than 10 years after the end of World War II, so they didn't have like that much like to work with compared to like Hollywood, okay? But I think it's still a good design, so I'm gonna put it at a strong B tier. Now the puppet, I'm not gonna spend too much time on these ones. I think it's better made than the 54 suit, but the proportions are kind of wrong and they make him look kind of cutesy and iffy. So guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with E tier. And now we move on to 1955, Godzilla Raids Again. So guys, this movie came out only a year after the first one. And the question obviously is, well, why didn't they just reuse the same suit? And the reason is because Godzilla fights Anguirus in this movie, or just Anguillus. And so they needed like a much more lightweight, thinner suit for them to do like their fight choreography. So they ended up taking a lot of the bulk out with the new suit, but I think they kind of ruined the design of the 54 suit. It's missing all that bulk, all that power, all that menace. The face is way too flat. Guys, I'm sorry, I think it's a bad suit. I'm going with E tier, same thing for the puppet. And now we move on to King Kong versus Godzilla in 1962. I have a giant soft spot for the design. Also, I think it's interesting that they kept the suit lightweight, but they managed to get all of that bulk, you know, back into it in terms of the design. With that said, he looks like Kermit the Frog, okay? And that's not really what you want from your Godzilla. It's for him to look like a frog. So I'm going still with like C tier. I think it's decent, right? But the puppet is bad. Okay. Anyway, now we get on to Godzilla vs. Mothra in 1964. I think this is slightly better in terms of the face as just like the last one. However, I think the jowls are just way too big and a little bit too, I don't know, he looks a little bit too sleepy, like a little bit too derpy. I don't think that it quite reaches like the menace that the 54 suit had. So I'm gonna put it also like in C tier though. The puppet kind of looks better like in the face. It looks a lot closer to 54, but the neck is kind of too thin. I don't know, it's not really working for me. So I think I'm gonna do D tier. And now we get onto Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. It's the exact same body as the 64 suit, they just changed up the head. And I think for the worse. He has like a really big overbite. I don't know guys, it's just not really working for me. I think I'm gonna put it in the D tier of not good. And same thing for the puppet, whatever. And now we get onto 65. This is Invasion of Astro Monster. Not good guys. They took all the padding or something out of the suit. So it just looks like he's wearing like a giant sack of potatoes, which is not really what you want. And again, he's looking even more like a frog. I don't understand the idea behind putting like just like the eyes like on top of its head and having them face outwards. Yeah, this is not a good suit, guys, okay? The 66 suit is the exact same as the 65 one, so it's going with it. And the puppet, I don't know. I don't really care. And now we get on to 1967. This is Son of Godzilla. And this is, I think, undoubtedly the worst design and the worst suit, period. It's just grotesque, okay? Like it's just hideous, guys. It's a really bad suit. It goes in F tier. Just the face, like what is that? Like why, okay? And the water suit is even worse. So that's a strong F tier. Right, now we move on to 68. Definitely an improvement over 67, and I would even say, 66. I like that they got the padding back. With that said, he looks like the giant cookie monster, which again is not really what you want. So I think when to put it, guys, I think in D tier. It's not bad, but he's a little bit too awkward kind of thing. I don't know. 69 is the exact same suit as like 68. They just kept reusing it and it kept falling apart until you get to 72, in which this thing is just, guys, like it's just deteriorating. It's like falling apart like on camera, which is again, like not cool. And now we get onto the water suit. Yeah, like it's ugly. I don't know, even worse. But they did come back and make a new suit for Godzilla versus Megalon in 1973. And guys, I like the suit, okay? It has like the padding back. I think the face looks a lot better. It doesn't look like a frog anymore, which is what you want. My main gripe about it is just that it's a little bit too cutesy. Like the face is like a bit too round. Now granted, this was when Godzilla was being aimed at children, okay? But with that said, I think it's a strong C tier. I think it's a good suit. But it came back in 74 with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. It's the exact same body as the 73 suit. It's just a new head. And guys, I think that they really like fixed up the head quite a bit. He doesn't look overly friendly or cutesy anymore. He's a bit more menacing. And I think like it's working, I think it's a good suit, okay? So I think I'm putting that like in B tier. And now we get on to Terror of Mechagodzilla in 1975. A pretty good suit. Again, like the same body, but they changed up the head once again. On one hand, they did make him look a little bit meaner, like a little bit more menacing. On the other hand though, like the snout is just like drooping and he looks like Brian Griffin when he got hit by a car or just whatever it is. So I'm gonna put that, I think, in the D tier, okay? I'm sorry guys. And the water suit looks kind of ugly, so whatever, E tier. But now we get on to 1978. This is the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. Overall, guys, I think it's a good design. I think it's iconic. I think that the green works very, very well. If it was gray, I don't think that it would work for animation. I think that he would just kind of blend into like the background. But I think it's a good animated design like for Godzilla and for like a kid's cartoon. But Japan came back in 1984 with Godzilla 1984. Now guys, if you want to see clips of these Godzillas in action to see how they compare, there's no better browser for that than Opera, as it has some of the best video focus features of any browser out there. I can use the video pop-out feature to detach and move any video I'm watching to any part of my screen. Do I need more room? Great, I can move it somewhere else. And I can even use it outside the browser. There are no extra apps or windows needed, and their built-in ad blocker lets me enjoy uninterrupted videos whenever I want, and have complete control over what is shown to me, removing ads for a faster browser and uninterrupted playback. And while I make sure my videos are in crispy 4K, many older classics are forever stuck in 240p. But with Opera's Lucid mode, I can upscale any video I'm watching for free. Just use my link down below, and thanks to Opera for sponsoring this video. Overall, guys, I like this suit. I think they were trying to do like a lot of things with it. Like it's textured very, very well. It is well made. But with that said, he is quite derpy looking, okay? From the wrong angles, he just looks really, really derpy. I think the proportions of the body are really off sometimes. He looks a little bit like if he really can't walk. So I think it's a good attempt, but I think it just kind of, I just don't think that it really worked. So I'm going there with like D tier, okay? However, so the Cybot, which is the animatronic, I think is infinitely better, okay? Like the face looks a lot better, like the eyes are facing forward. He's beginning to resemble that kind of like dinosaur like aesthetic again, which is, great. My only problem is that the neck is a little bit too thin. It kind of just like goes in here for some reason. I don't know why, but I think it's decent, okay? I think it's pretty good. Like, I'm gonna put that, I think, like in C tier, like in decent. But now we move on to 1989 with Godzilla versus Biollante. Overall, guys, I really like this suit. I think that they really got everything right with it. And this just became like the look of the Heisei Godzilla moving forward for a reason. All right, so I think that belongs in B tier. Like, it's good, guys, okay? And the animatronic, I think, is just as good, if not better, than the actual base suit. With that said, though, like the water suit, you know, who are you calling Pinhead? It's just way too pointy, just the forehead. He just doesn't look that menacing, so I'm gonna go there with D tier, not good. But now we get onto Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 1991. It's the same aesthetic as the 89 suit, but the 89 suit ended up getting stolen or like it went missing. So they had to make a new suit for this movie. And I don't think they quite got it right. I think the muzzle is way too big. It kind of looks like when a dog swallows a bee. And also like the body proportions are just, again, kind of awkward. I'm going to go there with D tier, guys, like I'm sorry. The 91 suit B was not used in this movie at all. And the animatronic is better. Like the face looks a lot better. Like the muzzle is not as swollen or like as big. And I believe that the water suit is actually like just the 89 suit. So I'm gonna go there with like B there. And now we move on to Godzilla versus Mothra in 1992. Guys, I think this is, again, like a really good suit. All the kinks of the 91 suit got ironed out, it got fixed, and it's just a really good looking suit. Same thing for the animatronic, I believe. Like the water suit looks okay, it doesn't look like as good though. And now we move on to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 in 1993. This, guys, I'll be honest, they just made him just way too like fat. It's just way too bulky, like not in like a good way. I think they kind of like just like ruined. Okay, so I'm gonna put 93, I think, in C tier actually. The animatronic, I think, looks probably about the same. I don't know. Now guys, for the 94 suit in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, I think that they really perfected like the Heisei design in this one. The suit looks great, he looks wide, he looks powerful. It's a really great suit, guys. I'm gonna do our first A tier. I think it's a great suit. Same thing for the animatronic. All right, and now we have Godzilla vs. Destroya Burning Godzilla in 1995. Strong S tier. Guys, this suit is amazing. I love the burning, you know, like it's glowing. It has steam coming off it. I think it's a really great design. All right, guys, now next up is the most controversial design, I think, in the entire series. This is with 1998's Godzilla. Now guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have a giant soft spot for this design. It was the very first Godzilla movie that I ever watched. To me, this was Godzilla for a very long period of my childhood, you know, and I actually really like this design. You know, here's my little Zilla toy. Like, I think it looks cool. Also, as someone who had to spend, you know, almost a week making a 3D model of him, he is so detailed. Like, I don't think it gets talked about enough as to just how much detail, how much work went into actually making this design, this model. I just really like it. With that said though, I do understand where people feel that it's not Godzilla. It's very different. It doesn't really resemble Godzilla, you know, so even though I love the design, I do have to agree that it's not Godzilla. So on that range, I'm gonna have to put it in E tier. I'm sorry, guys, okay? Same thing for the animated series Godzilla. Okay, like first of all, it looks great. It's a really good adaptation of the live action movie into an animated form. But again, like it's just not Godzilla. And I think we need to be fair there. So I'm sorry, he goes with this big papa in E tier. But there was so much outrage over the 98 movie that Toho came back, you know, a year later with Godzilla 2000 in 1999. And guys, this suit, I think, is an S tier suit. I think it's so cool looking. I love the purple like on the spines. It really makes him distinct. It brings him like a certain sense of power. There's so much detail in this suit. The face looks fearsome. Fearsome Godzilla. I mean, it's just a perfect suit. I think the proportions are also just like great. He doesn't look awkward. He looks big, he looks powerful. It's a really, really great design. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, from the Millennium series. And now we get onto Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in the year 2000. It's the same exact design as the 1999 suit. The only difference is that they changed the colors. So they brightened him up and they made him just a brighter green with brighter purple spikes. To me, I don't want to say ruins, but I just think it makes it a lot weaker. With that said though, it's still a good design. I'm gonna have to put that in A tier. And now we go on to Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, or just GMK for short, in the year 2001. Now guys, I love this suit, okay? I love the white eyes. My dog, sorry guys. I just love the white eyes. I think the snout is pretty damn great. However, I have two gripes with it. The first one is, I think the feet are a little bit too big, that when he's in motion, he looks kind of awkward, okay? He looks like he's having trouble just walking around. And also, I don't really like his belly, okay? At least not in the way, because he's hunching over, like it's really showing. I don't know, I'm just not that big a fan of it. So I'm gonna have to put that, I think, in A tier. Now we move on to 2002, which is, a really great design. Also, it's like a lot closer to the 2000 suit. Just the face is a bit more wolf-like. The spines are, back to white or gray, and they're a little bit bigger. Overall, a really good suit. My only gripe with it is that I don't really like just this now drooping forward. I never quite understood why it's like that. I don't really like it, but it's still a good suit. I'm gonna have to put it, I think, in A tier. Same thing for the sequel. He just has a scar. I don't think it adds, but it also doesn't detract anything away from him. So that goes in A tier. And now we move on to Godzilla Final Wars in 2004. Growing up, this was my favorite Godzilla design. I think it's really good. I think the fact that they managed to really slim it down, make him just really lithe and lightweight while still keeping that look of power in him is something to be commended. With that said though, the older I get, I think the less that I'm kind of in love with it. I do think that the snout is a little bit too thin. He looks too much like a mouse. I don't think it has that power that some of the earlier Millennium suits had. So I think because of that, I'm gonna have to go with B tier. Okay guys, I'm sorry. I think it's good. Now we move on to CGI time with Godzilla 2014 from Godzilla 2014. And guys, this is an easy S tier, okay? I think they nailed the design in terms of making the big budget Godzilla Hollywood blockbuster. They just really nailed it. I think the design is beautiful. I love its little stumpy elephant feet. I love that the spines are a little bit more subtle, they feel much more incidental. I love the proportions. It's so detailed, the actual model is just so detailed. The face looks great. It looks, powerful and mean while still looking like a Godzilla face. I think they just nailed it, okay? And now we move on to Shin Godzilla. And guys, this is my personal favorite Godzilla design. I think it is perfect. I love it so much. This is a really good, adaptation of taking kind of the actual original idea and the original silhouette and the design, and really just, I think, sticking true to what it's meant to be. It's a giant irradiated creature. I love that it just has dropped any kind of dinosaur look. He looks in pain. I love the stance, he looks like this deity. I love the long tail, but I also just love its teeth. They're all just going out, and that's an easy S tier. Now we move on to the Godzilla Earth anime trilogy. Guys, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of this design. I don't think it's bad, it just doesn't really do much for me like at all. I just think it's a little bit boring. I think the most interesting part about it is that Godzilla Earth has like a chin. Other than that though, kind of D tier. It's just like the Scarlet Godzilla maybe makes it look kind of cooler, but you know, like whatever. And now we move on to Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. I like the design. They changed enough from 2014. They made the head smaller. They brought back the dorsal plates from 54, and the proportions are just a little bit different overall. With that said, I like the spines from 2014 better. I think it's a great design. I don't think it's as good as 2014, so I'm gonna have to go there with A tier. But now we move on to its burning Godzilla form. Now guys, as much as I love a burning Godzilla, I don't think they really 100% kind of like did it justice. What I really liked about the 95 design is that the actual burning comes off as a design element, as to where the one like in King of the Monsters, there's no inherent design there. I just think it kind of drops like its power, okay? But it's still good, so I'm gonna go with B tier there. And now we move on to Godzilla versus Kong. Exact same design as the 2019, like they might have changed few details, but for the most part, it's the same thing. Now we move on to Godzilla Ultima from Godzilla Singular Point. Now guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I have not watched this series. I have no plans on watching this series, I'm sorry. With that said though, I think it's a good design, okay? Like I really like it, I just think it works. I like the proportions, I like the amount of detail in it. It looks detailed while not looking over designed. I think it's a really great design. And now we move on to Godzilla -1. Now guys, -1 is my favorite Godzilla movie. It's not only the best Godzilla movie in my opinion, but it's also just a really, really great film and a really great piece of cinema. Everything about it is kind of perfect. With that said though guys, I don't really like the design. I think the proportions are kind of weird, like they're a bit awkward again. He's just too like boxy. He doesn't look that menacing to me in terms of proportions. And I don't think the face is all that menacing. However, it is very, very well detailed, needs to be commended. Like he is very well made and very well done. I just don't really like a lot of the design. So I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna have to go with D tier, as much as I love the movie by the way. And now we get on to Godzilla Monarch. It's the same model, like the same design as these last few. So it goes in A tier, you know, whatever. All right, and last and least is the Godzilla from Godzilla X Kong. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, the changes they made to the previous Monsterverse designs, I think are for the worse. I don't like the pink, I don't like the Thagomizer. To me, that's just over designing something that doesn't need that. I don't really like the new proportions. Just like, yes, he looks more heroic, but I just think he kind of misses a lot of that mass that the previous ones had, okay? So I'm gonna have to put Supernova, I think at D tier, okay? I'm sorry guys, I just never liked it. But that wraps up my Godzilla design tier list. Let me know what you thought of my rankings. Do you agree with me? Do you vehemently disagree with me? Let me know. Also guys, let me know if you enjoyed this type of video and if you would like to see more of them. If so, which monsters or dinosaurs or just like which would you like me to rank? Let me know down below. All right guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon.